If you don't take the first step now, you will never take it. Think about that. You will never achieve what you want. You will never build what you dream. You will never become who you could be. You will never live the life that was meant for you. One step. That's all it takes. But if you wait, if you postpone, if you tell yourself, someday, that someday never shows up. See, the tragedy of life is not that we aim too high and miss. The tragedy is that we aim too low and hit. If you don't begin now, the years will pass. And you'll look back, wondering, what if? What if I had started when I felt the urge? What if I had taken the chance? What if I had dared to make that first move? The clock keeps ticking whether you start or not. The question is not, will time pass? The question is, will you pass through time with progress or regret? So let me remind you today, success begins with boldness, not hesitation, not perfection, not waiting for every answer to appear. It begins with courage. It begins with one bold step. If you don't take the first step now, you may never take it. Think about that. Every day that passes without action is a day you don't get back. Every hour you delay is an hour lost forever. Time is not waiting. Time is not pausing. Time is not forgiving. And here's the truth. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. The longer you hesitate, the heavier the burden of regret grows. So the first step, my friend, is not something to put off. It's something to act on. Now, why do so many people delay? Why do they postpone their dreams, their goals, their future? They tell themselves, I'll start when the timing is right. I'll begin when I have more money. I'll take action when I feel ready. But let me tell you something important. The right time never shows up. The perfect conditions never come. And readiness? That's a myth. You don't wait to feel ready. You start. And the act of starting creates readiness. I've often said, don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Well, you get better by taking action, not by sitting on the sidelines. Let's be clear. Wasting time isn't just harmless waiting. It's costly. Every day of delay has a price tag. When you delay your health, the cost is your energy. When you delay your finances, the cost is your freedom. When you delay your relationships, the cost is your connection. When you delay your dreams, the cost is your fulfillment. And the most expensive cost of all, regret. Regret is the silent tax of wasted time. It doesn't show up on your calendar. It doesn't send you a bill, but it collects interest every single day. One day you wake up and realize the chance is gone. The door has closed. The time you thought you had is no longer there. But here's the good news. You don't need to have the whole plan figured out. You don't need to see the finish line. You just need to take the first step. That first step is small, but it's powerful. It changes everything. Because action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates results. And results, they fuel more action. It's like rolling a snowball. At first, it's small. It's light. It doesn't look like much. But once you push, it grows. It gathers weight. It gathers speed. Pretty soon it's unstoppable. That's the power of one bold step. So why now? Why today? Because waiting is a habit. If you say, I'll start tomorrow, tomorrow will bring the same excuses as today. If you say, I'll start next week will be full of distractions. If you don't decide now, you won't decide later. I'll tell you this, discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. The discipline of starting may feel heavy in the moment, but the weight of regret, that will crush you. Now is the best time. Now is the only time. Now is the time when life is happening. So let me challenge you. Right now, think of one area of your life you've been delaying. That project, that business idea, that fitness plan, that relationship. Don't try to solve it all today. Just take one step. Make the call. Write the page. Take the walk. Start the savings account. One step. That's all it takes. Because the first step is the seed. And seeds grow when they're planted. not when they're imagined. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Stop wasting your time. Stop waiting for the right conditions. Stop living in delay. Take the first step. Do it boldly. Do it now. Because your future is waiting, but it will not wait forever. Why does boldness matter? Why take risks? Why step forward when it feels safer to stand still? Because boldness is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without boldness, nothing changes. Without boldness, you stay the same. Without boldness, life becomes a quiet repetition of yesterday. And let me tell you, yesterday repeated over and over again. That's not growth. That's not living. That's surviving. Here's what I know. Boldness creates motion, and motion creates momentum, and momentum changes everything. Think about it. You can sit and dream. You can plan and write. You can wish and hope. But nothing changes until you move. The first bold step is like pushing a heavy wheel. At first, it resists. It doesn't want to turn. It feels impossible. But push again, and again, and again. And suddenly, it moves. Slowly at first, then faster, then smoother. That's what boldness does. It gets the wheel of your life turning. And once it turns, it becomes easier to keep it rolling. Most people think confidence comes first. They say, when I feel confident, then I'll try. But here's the secret. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes from action. You don't start because you're confident. You become confident because you started. That's why boldness matters. It's the spark that lights the fire of confidence. It's the act that tells your mind, yes, I can. Yes, I will. The timid wait for assurance. The bold create assurance. Look around. Most people don't act boldly. Most hesitate. Most hide in the crowd. Most let fear decide for them. But the few, the ones who stand out, the ones who succeed, the ones we remember, they dared to be bold. Not because they weren't afraid, but because they acted in spite of fear. I like to say, if you want to be wealthy, study the wealthy. If you want to be healthy, study the healthy. If you want to be successful, study the successful. And what you'll find is this. The successful didn't know everything when they began, but they dared to begin. They signed the contract. They made the call. They launched the idea. They took the risk. That's why boldness matters. Because it separates the doers from the dreamers. Fear is powerful. It whispers in your ear, what if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you lose? But here's something to remember. Fear only grows in stillness. Fear only multiplies in silence. Fear only becomes stronger when you do nothing. The moment you act boldly, fear shrinks. The moment you step forward, fear loses its grip. You don't eliminate fear by thinking it away. You eliminate fear by moving through it. Boldness is the antidote to fear. It doesn't wait for fear to leave. It walks into the storm and says, I will not let fear decide my destiny. Life does not hand out rewards for hesitation. Life rewards those who move, those who try, those who dare. Opportunities are like doors, but they don't stay open forever. They open for a moment, and then they close. The bold walk through when the door is open. The hesitant stand outside and wonder, what if? Here's the truth. Opportunity rarely knocks twice. And if it does, it knocks softer the second time. That's why boldness matters. Because when the moment arrives, you act. And action creates opportunities you could never have imagined. Now, let's be honest. Boldness is not free. It requires courage. It requires risk. It requires stepping into the unknown. But let me ask you, what is the price of playing small? What is the cost of hesitation? It's the life you could have lived, but didn't. The success you could have had, but never claimed. The potential you carried, but never expressed. The price of playing small is the death of your greatness. So yes, boldness is costly, but hesitation is more costly. Boldness matters because it changes the course of your life. It creates motion. It builds confidence. It separates the few from the many. It breaks fear. It opens opportunity. And it gives you something hesitation never can. The chance to live fully, the chance to live boldly, the chance to live without regret. So the question is not, can I afford to be bold? The real question is, can I afford not to be? You can take a bold step, but if you don't stay focused, you can lose your way. Focus matters. Focus decides. Focus directs. It's not enough to begin. You must continue. You must guard your attention. You must stay on the path. Because boldness may start the journey, but focus finishes it. Think about it. A farmer plants a seed. That's bold. But if he doesn't water it, if he doesn't protect it, if he doesn't stay consistent, the seed never grows. The same is true for your life. You can take the first step, but without focus, you scatter your energy. You start many things, but finish nothing. I've often said, the key to success is not just hard work. It's concentrated work. Not running in all directions. Not chasing every idea. Not allowing distractions to steal your best hours. Success belongs to the focused. So what steals focus? Distractions. Opinions. Noise. The world is full of voices. Some tell you what you should do. Some tell you what you can't do. Some tell you to wait, to slow down, to give up. And if you're not careful, those voices drown out your own. You must learn to guard your focus. To say, this is my path. This is my step. This is my choice. Because without focus, you'll be busy, but not productive. You'll be active, but not effective. You'll be moving, but not progressing. Here's the beauty of focus. Whatever you focus on expands. Whatever you give attention to grows stronger. If you focus on problems, they seem bigger. If you focus on excuses, they multiply. If you focus on fear, it paralyzes you. But if you focus on solutions, you find them. If you focus on growth, you create it. If you focus on the bold step, you keep moving forward. What you focus on is what you feed, and what you feed will determine your future. That's why focus matters. Focus is not just about saying yes. It's also about saying no. No to distractions. No to wasted time. No to things that don't move you closer to your goal. See, a river cuts through rock not because it's strong, but because it's focused. It flows in one direction, day after day, year after year. That's what makes it powerful. That's what makes it unstoppable. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Not scattered effort, not divided attention, but a steady stream of focused action. Focus demands discipline. It's easy to be distracted. It's easy to start and stop. It's easy to let your energy scatter. But discipline pulls you back. Discipline reminds you of the goal. Discipline says, this is what matters. Stay with it. And here's the good news. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, focus feels difficult, but as you practice, it becomes natural. It becomes who you are. Remember this, a bold step without focus is wasted. It's like lighting a match in the wind. The spark is there, but it dies quickly. But a bold step with focus, that's like building a fire. You protect it, you feed it, you let it grow. And soon, that small flame becomes a blazing force. Focus turns a single step into a journey. Focus turns a dream into reality. Focus turns boldness into success. So let me ask you, where's your focus today? Are you guarding it? Are you feeding it? Are you directing it toward your bold step? Because the truth is this, boldness begins the race. Focus wins it. Don't let distractions steal your destiny. Don't let noise confuse your path. Don't let opinions dilute your strength. Choose focus. Stay with it. Protect it. And let it carry your bold step into a bold life. Boldness starts the journey. Focus keeps you on the path. But patience ensures the harvest. You see, the bold step is the spark. But sparks need time to become a flame. Seeds need time to become a tree. Dreams need time to become reality. And that's why patience matters. We live in a world of speed, fast food, fast messages, fast results. And because of that, Many people expect life to work the same way. They expect quick rewards, quick progress, quick success. But success is not instant. Growth is not immediate. Transformation is not overnight. A farmer doesn't plant today and harvest tomorrow. No, he plants, he waters, he waits. And in the right season, the crop appears. The same is true for your bold steps. Results take time. Success requires seasons. Growth demands patience. Boldness without patience leads to frustration. You start. You expect immediate results. But when the results don't show up quickly, you feel disappointed. And here's what happens to many. They quit too soon. They give up in the middle. They walk away before the reward arrives. Patience keeps you steady. Patience keeps you consistent. Patience reminds you, stay the course. The process is working, even if you can't see it yet. Patience is trusting that unseen progress is still progress. Think about bamboo. For years, nothing shows above the soil. You water it. You care for it. You see nothing. But underground, roots are spreading. Strength is building. The foundation is forming. And then suddenly, in one season, the bamboo shoots up. Tall, strong, unstoppable. Life works the same way. Sometimes your effort seems invisible. You're working. You're sowing. You're building. And yet, results look small. Don't be deceived. The roots are growing. The foundation is forming. The breakthrough is preparing. That's why patience is powerful. Without patience, boldness becomes wasted energy. You'll start many things, but finish none. You'll try, but never persevere. You'll begin, but never see the fruit. Patience is what protects your bold step. It tells you, stay with it. Keep going. Don't quit. And it's not just waiting. Patience is not passive. Patience is active endurance. It means working while you wait. It means watering the seed even before you see the sprout. It means trusting the process while staying committed to the action. Here's something I've learned. Time will either promote you or expose you. If you've been faithful, time will promote you. If you've been careless, time will expose you. That's why patience is tied to discipline. It's not about doing something once. It's about doing it again and again. Anyone can be bold for a day. Anyone can focus for a week, but only the patient stay committed for the long run. And that's where real success lives. Not in flashes of effort, but in steady, consistent progress over time. Patience is not just about results. It's also about growth. While you wait, you mature. While you endure, you grow stronger. While you persist, you develop character. Patience is the gym for the soul. It builds endurance. It builds resilience. It builds faith. And when the results finally come, you're not only successful, you're also stronger, wiser, deeper. So let me remind you today, boldness begins the journey. Focus directs the journey, but patience completes the journey. Don't rush the process. Don't despise the waiting. Don't quit in the middle. Success takes time. Growth takes seasons. Greatness takes patience. Stay with it. Trust the process. Water the seed. Wait for the harvest. Because the bold step you took will reward you. If you have the patience to see it through, boldness begins the journey. Focus keeps you on the path. Patience sees you through the seasons. And then, reward. Yes, there is a reward. A reward not just in wealth, not just in recognition, but in the life you create, the person you become, the legacy you leave. A life that speaks, even when your voice is silent. You see, most people wait for recognition. They hope others will notice their effort. They want applause before the work is done. But the true reward of life comes quietly. It comes from knowing you acted, even when no one was watching, the bold step you took, the effort, the risk, the courage was never wasted. Because action builds results. Results build confidence. Confidence builds character. And character is the foundation of a life that speaks for itself. The reward is not in one step. It's in the steps that follow. It's in showing up again. It's in doing the work long after the excitement fades. Consistency transforms small actions into remarkable outcomes. A single page written doesn't make a book, but a page a day eventually creates a masterpiece. A single sale doesn't make a business, but persistent effort eventually builds success. And a single bold step doesn't change your life, but a life built step by step, day by day, that life speaks volumes. When you act boldly, when you focus, when you have patience, you earn more than results. You earn respect. Not the superficial respect of people who envy or fear you, but the deep respect of yourself. There's nothing more rewarding than looking in the mirror and knowing, I kept my word to myself. I followed through. I didn't quit. That respect cannot be taken away. It grows quietly. It strengthens with every challenge. It shines in your confidence, your decisions, your life. Bold action leads to freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from what-ifs. Freedom from the chains of fear. Many people are imprisoned by indecision, by hesitation, by delay. But when you act boldly, you release yourself. You discover possibilities. You discover doors you never imagined existed. You discover strength you didn't know you had. And with freedom comes opportunity. Opportunity to shape your life on your own terms. Opportunity to choose your path, not follow someone else's. And here's the beautiful part. Your life doesn't just speak for you, it speaks to others. Boldness inspires. Consistency motivates. Patience teaches. When you take the step, when you stay focused, when you trust the process, people notice. They see the results. They see the dedication. They see the transformation. And suddenly, your life becomes a lesson. Your story becomes a blueprint. Your journey becomes a gift. The life that speaks for itself doesn't need loud words. It doesn't need flashy displays. It simply lives boldly, faithfully, patiently, and others learn by watching. So don't measure your reward by applause. Don't measure it by comparison. Don't measure it by someone else's opinion. Measure it by the life you build. Measure it by the character you develop. Measure it by the contribution you make. The reward is in the quiet moments. When you've finished a task you didn't want to do. When you've persisted even though no one else believed. When you've grown stronger in the waiting, that's the reward. A life that speaks for itself. So let me remind you today, take the bold step. Focus your energy. Trust the process. Be patient. Do these things, and the reward is inevitable. Your life will speak. Your efforts will echo. Your choices will inspire. And one day, you'll look back and realize the bold step you took, the focus you held, the patience you practiced was worth every fear, every risk, every moment of doubt, because it created a life worth living, a life that speaks without words, a life that proves to yourself and to the world. You dared, you acted, you persisted, you became, and that is the greatest reward of all. So now, my friend, you've taken the journey in these words. You've seen why the first bold step matters. You've learned why focus is essential. You've understood the power of patience, and you've glimpsed the reward, a life that speaks for itself. But here's the truth. It's not enough to hear this today. It's not enough to feel inspired for a moment. The journey begins with action. Take the step. Take it boldly. Take it now. And don't stop. Stay focused. Trust the process. Be patient. Because the life you desire, the life you're capable of, the life that speaks for itself, it's waiting for you. It's waiting for the first step, the bold step, the step only you can take. Remember this. The walls of doubt crumble only when you walk through them. The fears of failure vanish only when you act. And the life you dream of exists only for those brave enough to start. So start. Start today. Start now. And one day, when people look at your life, they won't just see success. They won't just hear your story. They will feel your example. Your life will speak for itself. And that is the true reward.